Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Genetics. In this series of Python complete course, in today's video, we are going to explore two very important constructions in Python, that is list and tuples. Both list and tuples let us store collection of values, but they have some key difference that make each useful in different situations, right? So you will learn how to create them, access items, and understand when to use one over the other, right? So let's get started. What is list in Python? A list in Python is a built-in data structure, okay, that allows you to store an ordered sequence of items in a single variable. It's one of the most commonly used collection types in Python because it's flexible and easy to work with, right? So just try to understand why we use normally a list in our programming. For example, in a class there are 100 of students, okay. Now we want to store all the students' age. So what we need to do, we have to create like this student 1 age is 20, suppose 12, student 2 13, student 3 age is 10, and like this, and up to student 10 100 equal to suppose 20, okay. So if you want to store all the age of this 100 student, then you have to create 100 variables, right? So this is basically time consuming, and the thing is it will take more memory, right? So if you create 100 of variables, then it will take time and it will consume more memory in our system, right? So to avoid this situation, what do you do that? We need to create one list, that is we just need to create one variable, suppose age variable, okay. We just need to create one variable, that is age, and we have to create a list. And how do we create a list? Just putting square bracket, okay. Now in this list we have to mention all our age one by one, separated by comma, okay. Now 12, first is 12, then 13, then 10, then so on, and finally 20, okay. So I have created one variable and I have created a list, and within this list I have include 100 values of the age, okay. All the 100 values I have included in my list. So basically it will create only one variable and it will take less memory in our system. And whenever we need to access any kind of data any kind of value of the age, then just we need to call the index position of the value. Suppose if we want to access this one, then index position is 0, 1, 2. Just we just need to print age of index position 2, and it will give the output as 10, okay. So instead of creating 100 of variables, we just create one variable and putting all my values in a form of list, and whenever we require any value, then we just access that value from its index position, okay. So this is the big benefit of creating list for our programming, okay. Key characteristics of list. First one is ordered collection. Ordered collection means items in a list maintain their order. So the first item added stay first unless changed later. Suppose we create this list 10, 15, 20, 10, 12, like this, okay. So in a list, whatever value we have put in our list, it will remain same unless we change any of the value, okay. So these basically maintain the order whatever we mention in our list, okay. It is mutable. Mutable is changeable. You can add, remove, or modify element after the list created. That makes list very flexible. So after creating this list, we can add another value over here. We can add another value over here. We can modify any value. We can modify any value, okay. We can remove any of the value. So we can perform any of the operation over the list. That is why list is mutable, that is changeable, okay. Can store mixed data types. A single list can contain integer, string, boolean, even other list. When we create list, we can include integer. We can create any kind of string, suppose any name. We can include boolean, okay. Even we can include another list as well, 1, 2, 3, like this. We can include another list in a list, okay. So when we create list, we can include any kind of data type, integer, string, boolean, another list of another list in our list. So we can mention a different type of data types. Okay. Allow duplicates. Duplicate value are allowed. Basically, when you will create list 10, 15, 20, again we can mention 10, 15 like this. So we can include duplicate value in our list as well. Okay. Indexable. You can access element using their position index. Just like string in this list, we can, this is the position of 0, this is the position of 1, this is the position of 2, index position. Okay. This is the position of 3, like this. So whenever we create any kind of list, this is the index position. We can access them using their index position. All the value have their own index position. Okay. So we can access by its own index position, and it is always starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, just like string. Okay. That we have seen in our last video. Okay. So in the same way, we can access our list using the negative indexing as well. Okay. This is -1, -2, -3, okay, -4, and so on. Okay. So we can access our list using positive indexing and negative indexing as well. Okay. So now let me create one other file, list.py. Okay. So in order to create our list, first of all, we have to give on our variable name. Now let's suppose this one variable number. Okay. Now I'm creating a list of number. Okay. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. Now this is the list of integer. Now I'm creating one list of name. Okay. Suppose Alice, Bob. Okay. And so on. Okay. So this is the list of string. Now I'm creating a one mixed list. Okay. Mixed list. Here I am mentioning integer. Now I'm mentioning one string. We can mention just Python. Okay. Now we can mention one Boolean value like this. Okay. We can include our float value 3.14. Okay. Even we can include another list in this list. Okay. So we can put another list that is 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay. Now if we print, so basically this is our list of number, this is the list of string, and this is the list of mixed data types. Okay. Where I mentioned integer, string, Boolean, everything. Okay. Now let's print number, print name, print mixed. Okay. Now let's execute this. Now see, first is this is the list of integer. Okay. This is the list of string, and this is the list of mixed data type. Okay. So we can create any kind of list using any kind of data types. Okay. Now if you want to see whether this is list or not, then we can do one thing. We just write type. Okay. Although whenever in output there is square bracket, that means that is by default list. Okay. But still, if you want to see the type, then we can do this one. Type of name and print type of mixed. Now execute this one. Now see, class list. So all of them are list. Okay. Class list. Right. Okay. Great. Now if you want to access any of the data from this list, then what to do? Then we can access using its index position. Just like string, all the values have this index position, and always it starts from 0. Okay. Just like string. So this is the 0, this is the 1, this is the 2, like this. This is the 0th position, this is the 1, this is second, this is the third one, this is the fourth one. Okay. So this execute. Now if we want to print the true value, this one, So what is the index position of this value? That is 0, 1, 2. 2 of mixed. Okay. So if we print mixed and in index position of 2. Okay. And execute this one. Now see, true values coming. Okay. Now in the same way, if we print the fourth place, the fourth index position, then it will show the list. Whatever list is present in my mixed list. Okay. So this list is getting printed. Okay. So in the same way, if we want to print name of 0th position, and if we want to print number of second position. Okay. Now let's print. Now see. So name of the 0th position is coming as li. Okay. This is the 0th position, and second position of the number, that is 0, 1, 2. That would be 30. That is, so 30 is getting printed. Okay. So this is how we can create a list, and we can access any value within the list using their index position number. Okay. Next is slicing. So slicing works in the list in the same way how slicing works in string that we have learned in our previous video. Okay. So basically string, you can access a range of element in a list using slicing. Okay. So basically this is our list. Now if you want to access the range of elements, suppose this position. Okay. This position. Then we can, this is called slicing. And how do we perform slicing? Just like in string, just we have to mention our name of the list, and within this we have to put our position, that is start position colon end position, right? Just like string. And always remember, like string, this in list also this end position gets excluded. Okay. So if you want to so this is the index position of 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5, right? This is the index position. Okay. Now if you want to slice this number from this position to this position, that is 1 to 4, then how do we write that? We have to write number, and from which position? That is first position. So index position is 1, and up to fourth position. Okay. So fourth position is excluded, right? Fourth position is excluded, but we want you want to print fourth position, so we have to mention 4 plus 1, that is 5. Okay. So if we want to mention 5, then it will print from 1 to 4, right? So the output will be 20, 30, 40, and 50, like this. Okay. So this is called slicing. Let me comment it out. Okay. Now let's see how we can perform slicing in our list. Okay. Now for example, if we consider this number list. Okay. Okay. Let me write few more data: 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay. Now we want to slice our number list from 30 to 80. Okay. 30 to 80. Then how do we perform that? So 30 is the position of 0, 1, 2, right? And 80 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. These are 7th position, right? So to slice from 2 position to 7th position, we have to write print. We have to mention our variable name, and within this we have to put our first position, that is 2, right? And our last position is 7. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 position. Okay. So we have to mention here 7 plus 1, that is 8. Okay. Because 8 is excluded. Okay. So now let's execute this one. Sorry, it will be number. Now see, 30 to 80 is getting printed because 30 is the second position. Okay. And 8 is the 7th position. So we have mentioned 8. Okay. So in the same way, if we want to print from the very first way, as we have seen in our last video in string, that if we want to start our slicing from the very beginning position, then we can remove the first position, okay, and we can directly put the colon, and finally we can put the our end position, that is 8. Then if we print this one, now see, it is starting from 0, that is, we have mentioned nothing here, so that is why we interpreted starting from 0, this 0 position. So it is starting from 10 to 8 means 7 position, that is 80, okay. So it is printing from 10 to 80, okay. So in the same way, if we want to print from any position to end, then we have to mention number, and we have to write the start position, that is, that we can write fifth, and that's it, and colon, that's it, and it will print from fifth position to last, okay. Now let's execute this one. Now see, 60, fifth position means 60, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 means 5 means 60, okay. So from 60 to end, that is 90, okay. So from 60 to 90 is getting printed, okay. So these are we can slice, but this is the positive indexing. Now if you want to use negative indexing, then let me comment it out. Now if want to print from 30 to 80 again, then let's count the, so it will start negative indexing starts from right to left, right. So this is the -1, -2, -3, -4. So this is the -2, okay, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, okay, -7. So we have to mention -7 to 80. 80 means the -1, -2, 2. That means we have to mention -1 because it is -1 is excluded, okay. So let's print it. Now see, 50 to 80 is getting printed. 50 is the fifth position, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, okay. So 50 is the -5 position, so 50 to 80 is getting printed, okay. Now if you want to print till the end, just delete the -1 and let's print it. Now see, it is getting printed till from 50 to 90 till the end, okay. So these are we can perform our slicing in our list using positive indexing and negative indexing as well, okay. So next is modifying and updating list, that is mutable and changing elements, okay. So in Python, list are mutable. Mutable means changeable, okay, which means once a list is created, you can change its content. So whenever you create any kind of list, you can change the element of this list at any time, okay. So you can change an element, add new element, okay. You can add any kind of element in this existing list. You can remove element. You can remove element from this list. Clear the whole list. You can clear all the value from here, and you can create a blank list, okay. So there are a few operations using inbuilt function. Using this, we can perform our modification in list, okay. So first one is append. Append is add a value at the end. So if I have 10, 20, 30, so using append function, you can add a value at the end, okay, at the end of the list. So whatever value we can want to add using append, that we add at the last position of the list, okay. Next is insert. Add a specific position. So if want to add, this is the existing list, okay. Now if want to add our any value using a specific position, that means if we want to, suppose this is the existing list, okay. Now we want to add this 20 is the first position, this is the second position, okay. Now we want to add a value in the first position, then we can do like this. Now this is the new value will be added here, suppose 12, and this from all the element will shift just one side, right, okay. Then it will continue as 30, 40, like this, okay. So using insert, we can perform a insertion of value in a specific position, okay. Now next is extend. Add multiple element at once. If we want to add multiple position, suppose in this list, in this existing list, we want to include multiple value, that is suppose 24, 50, 60, multiple value. Okay, so if you want to insert multiple value at once, then we have to use extend. Okay, next is remove item by value. So if you want to delete any kind of specific value from a list, then we have to use remove. Okay, suppose we have to delete this value 12. Okay, then we have to use only remove. Okay, next is pop remove item by its index position. Using pop, we can also remove the value from a list, but we have to use index position. Okay, if we want to delete this position, then in case of remove, we have to mention 12 like this, but in case of pop, we have to mention the position, that is 1. Then it will delete this 12 value. But if we don't pass any kind of index position in this function, then automatically pop function will delete the last one. Okay, just remember, if we don't mention any kind of index value within this pop function, then it will automatically delete the last one from the list. Okay, delete, this is the function. So delete and pop both are same. In both cases, we can remove our item using index number. Only syntax is different. In case of pop, we have to mention like this, this is the index position. And in case of delete, we have to mention like this is the function, and we have to mention, suppose this is our a variable, then a, and within this we have to mention our index position. That's it. So both performs in the same way, but only syntax is different. Okay, and clear remove all the items. If we use clear function, then this all the value will be deleted at once, and our list will be empty. Okay, so finally we get a as empty list. Okay, so these are the basic few functions that we using this we can perform our modification and updation in our list. Okay, now suppose we want to update the name of this Sam. Okay, Sam as Jack. Okay, then how do we modify this one? First of all, okay, I comment it out. Let me do one thing. Let me copy this one. Okay. So these are list of our name. Okay. Now I want to modify this one. This Sam as John. Then what we have to do? We have to just, first of all, we have to access our this name. So what is the position of this name? That is 1. Okay, 1. And we have to write which name we want to update over here. So suppose John. Okay. Now if we print our name, now see, our name has been changed. Alice, same has been updated as John and Bob. Okay, so just calling our indexing position and just mention the new name, we can update our list at any time. Okay, any value of the list at any time. Okay, fine. Now let's see how we can perform our different in-will function. Okay. Okay, let me create a new list, that is fruits. Okay, and suppose we have a existing list of fruits, that is apple and banana. Okay, now first of all we have to perform our append operation. Okay, so to perform the append operation, we have to mention fruits, that is name of the list, and we have to mention the append. And append means we want to add any value at the end of the list. Okay, now if we want to add mango, this value in our list. Okay, then we have to write fruits.append, and we have to, within this we have to pass our value, that is mango. Okay, and now let's print. Now let's print fruits. Now let's execute. Now see, our existing list was apple and banana. Now mango has been appended in our list. Apple, banana, mango. Okay, so this is the function of append. Now next is insert. Okay, in using insert we can also add our value, but in a specific position. Okay, so for that, suppose when we want to include one fruit name in the first position. Okay, in the first position. Then we have to write, before printing, we have to write fruits dot insert, and within this, first of all, we have to mention our index position. Okay, so we want to include in first position. Okay, and which value we want to use? The orange we want to include. Okay, basically orange we want to insert in this fruit list. Okay, now let's print fruit. Now let's see. Now see, our existing list was apple, banana, mango. Okay, because mango gets appended in the list. Now after this, I have inserted another value, that is orange, in the first position. So basically, in the first position, what was the in first position, which fruits was there? Initially, banana was in the first position, right? As we are inserting orange value in the first position, so the orange has been inserted in the first position, and banana and mango shifted to the right. Okay, so now my new list is apple, in the first position is orange, then banana, then mango. Okay, so using append, we can insert our value at the end of the list, and using insert, we can insert our value at any particular position using the index number. Okay, great. Now let's move to the next one, that is extend. Okay, so using extend, we can add multiple value at once. Okay, so for that, we have to write fruits dot extend, and within this, suppose we have to insert two values, and whatever value we have to include multiple value, that we have to include within a list format. Okay, so we want to include, suppose, grape, and another value is kiwi. Okay, and value is kiwi. Now these two value I want to include, I want to insert in my existing list. Okay, now let's print. Now let's print fruits. Now see, our list was apple, orange, banana, mango. Now see, our grapes and kiwi has been added in our existing list. Apple, orange, banana, mango, and in last, grapes and kiwi has been inserted. Okay, so using extend function, we can include multiple value in our list at once. Okay, now let's move to the next one, that is remove. Okay, using remove, we can remove any item from our list using its own value. Okay, so fruits dot remove, and suppose we want to remove the banana. Okay, banana. Okay, so now we have to mention banana. So banana, we want to remove this banana item. Okay, now let's print fruits. Now let's see. Now see, our list was apple, orange, banana, mango, grapes, and kiwi. Now banana has been removed. Now our new list is apple, orange, mango. No, banana has been removed. Okay, mango, grapes, kiwi. Okay, so using remove, we can remove any item by its own value. Okay. Now next is pop. Pop also remove any item from the list by its index position. Okay, so now if I write fruits dot pop, okay, and I mention in this position number 1. Okay, now let's print. So which one is the in the index position of 1? That is orange. Okay, orange. So let's print it. Now see, it was apple, orange, mango, grapes, kiwi. Now orange has been removed because orange was in the first position. Okay, so now my new list is apple, mango, grapes, kiwi. Okay, fine. Now next one is delete. Is del function. Now the syntax is quite different. Okay, so for delete, we have to write like this: del space, we have to mention our list name. Okay, and within this, we have to mention our position. So now, for example, we want to delete jf position item. Okay, now what is the value of this jf position? That is apple. Okay, now let's print false. Okay, now let's execute. Now see, it was apple, mango, grapes, kiwi, and finally apple has been removed because apple was in the 0th position. Okay, so apple has been removed, and my new list is mango, grapes, kiwi. Okay, fine. Now next one is clear. Okay, that is clear. Then fruits dot clear. So using clear function, we can remove all the value in our existing list at once. Okay, so it will remove all the value from the list. Okay, just mention fruits dot clear, and just print fruits. Okay, now let's print the fruits. Now let's see, it will remove all the value from the list. Now see, this is our final list, that is empty. Okay, so it was mango, grapes, kiwi. Now when we perform clear operation, then it will remove all the value whatever present in my list, and it will create the empty list. Okay, so this is the function of clear. So this is the basic in-built function by which using this we can perform any kind of changing or any kind of updation modification in our list. Okay, there is another concept, that is searching and organizing list element. Okay, so Python has also some inbuilt function, that is method, to search and organize list elements. Okay, so first one is index. Index is return the position of the first matching element. Okay, now for example, suppose we have a list like 3, 1, 2, again 1, 3, like this. Okay, now we perform index. We want to find out index of the 1. Okay, then what will happen? Then interpreter will check from very first beginning of the list, and whenever it will found the matching value, so whenever it will find the first matching value, it will throw the index position of this value. Okay, that is 1. Okay, so if we write index of 1, okay, then it will give the position of 1. Okay, index position of 1. Okay, so this is the function of 1. Count is count how many times an element appears. Now if we write here count of 1, so 1, how many times 1 has been appeared in my list? That is 1 and 2. So output will be 2. Okay, so if I write count of 3, then 3 is how many times 3 has been appeared? 1 and 2. Then 2. If I write count of 2, then it will give me an answer as 1, because 2 has been appeared in 1 times. Okay, next is sort the list. Default is ascending. Okay, now if we write if this is the list of A. Okay, so these are A list. Okay, and if we write A dot sort, then it will automatically, by default, it will sort my list as ascending order. So it will write as 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, like this. Okay, so it will arrange my list in ascending order. Okay, so sort is by default ascending order. Reverse the order of the first of the list. Now if we write A dot reverse, okay, then my output will be just reverse. It will reverse my list. So it will come right from here 3, then this one will come 1, then this 2 will come 2, then this one will come 1 and 3, like this. Okay, just reverse the existing list. That's it. Okay, this is copy. In our coding, whenever you write any kind of coding production level, then sometimes we don't want to modify, or we don't want to touch our existing list for safety purpose. Okay, in that time we need to create one copy of the existing list, and then on top of that newly created copy list, we can perform any kind of operation. Okay, so if my list is A, okay, then we can create a copy of A. Okay, A dot copy. Then it will create another new A. So it will create a new A list. Okay, this is also a list. Just replica of A. Whatever value is present, everything is there in this new A list. Everything is same. only it is just copying all the element of this A to this new list. Okay, so this is a replica of this A element, A list. Okay, so these are we can perform this type of searching and organizing operation. Okay, now let me comment it out all these things. Now I'm creating one list. Okay, number. Now I'm creating one list that is 3, 1, okay, 2, 1. Okay, there is 1 is twice. Okay, now if I print number dot index and I want to find out the value of 1. Okay, index position of 1, and let's execute. Now see, it is showing 1. Why? Because first matching element, that is 1. So first matching element 1 has its index position is 1. Okay, so if I write something like this, C, okay, and I want to find the index position of 3, so it will find the first matching element and it will give the index position of the first matching element, that is this 3. Okay, this 3. So this would be 0. This should be 0. Now see, the 0 is coming because I want to find the index position of 3. Now interpreter find the first matching element, that is 3, in this position, in 0th position. So it is giving the output as 0. Okay. Okay. Now if I perform count, okay, count of 1, count of 1. Now let's print how many times has been 1 has been appeared in my list, that is 2. Now let's print. Now see, 2 is coming. Okay, so 2 times 1 has been appeared in my list. So this is the function of 2. Okay, now another next function is sort. Okay, now number, if I write number dot sort, okay, and let's print it. Let's print numbers. Now see, my list was 3, 1 to 1. Now sort function arrange my list in a ascending order. Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so sort function basically arrange my list in ascending order, that is by default ascending order. Okay, next is reverse. Okay, so if I write number dot reverse and print this one, now understand. Now presently my list is this one. Okay, my list is this one, not this one, not 3, 1 to 1. Right now my list is 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now if I write reverse, now see, 1, 1, 2, 3 has been reversed by 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, 3, 2, 1, 1. Right, so reverse function just reverse all the element of my list. Okay, now next is copy. So if I write number dot copy, okay, number dot copy, and I need to create a new element, new list, that is new, okay, or copy list. Okay, this is my new list variable name. Okay, now I write number dot copy and now print copy list. Okay, copy list. Now understand, now presently my list is 3, 2, 1, 1, not 3, 1 to 1, not 1, 1 to 3. As I have performed reverse operation, so right now my list is 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so now let's execute it. Now see, copy is also the same list, 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, my current list is 3, 2, 1, 1, and once I create a copy of this number list, then it is also create the same list of element. Okay, 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so these are we can perform this operation. for searching and organizing our list. Okay. There are few more inbuilt function in the list is there that we can use to get the information from the list and perform some operation. Okay. So a few of them is, one is length, that is find the number of the items. Okay. So if there is a list 1, 2, 3 like this, so the length, suppose length of A would be 1, 2, 3. So length would be 3. Okay. So just count how many items is there in my list. Okay. Minimum and maximum. So if we perform A dot min, okay, then it will find out the minimum value, that is 1. Okay. And A dot max, it will find out the maximum value, that is 3. Okay. Sum means just adding all the integer number. Okay. It will give just adding all the number 3 to 1. Okay. 3 to 5, 1, 6. It will give the answer as 6. Okay. Sorted means get a sorted copy of list. If my list is like this, suppose B is 2, 3, 1. Okay. Now if I perform B dot sorted, then it will give the new list in sorted order, that is in ascending order, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is quite different from dot sort method that we have learned in last video. In this sorted case, it will not replace the original one. It will create a new list with sorted value, but it will not replace the original one. Okay. So this is the basic difference of sort and sorted. Okay. Next is membership testing, that is in or not in. So using in or not in, just next thing we can find any value is there in my list or not. Okay. Using in and one is not in. Using these two functions, we can find out whatever the value we want to find that is present in my list or not. Okay. Now if I create a new list, number equal to 5, 2, 9, 1, 8. Okay. Now if I perform length operation, okay, length of number, okay, length of number, then what should be the output? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now see, 5 is coming. Okay. My output 5 is coming because there is 5 item in my number list. Okay. Fine. Next is min max. Okay. Now let's try to find out the mean value of number. Okay. And the max value of this number list, that is max. Now if I execute this one, now see, the minimum value is 1 in my list, right? 1 is getting printed, and the maximum value of this list is 9. So maximum value is 9 is getting printed. Okay. So these are the min and max value. Okay. Now let's perform the next operation, that is sum operation. Okay. Now let's print sum of number. Okay. Now let's execute. Now see 25. If I perform the sum 5 to 7, 7, 9, 16, 16, 1, 17, 17, 8, 17 plus 8, that is 25. Okay. So using sum operation, we can add all our integer value of the list. Okay. Wait. Next is sorted. Okay. Now if I print sorted, that is sorted of number. Okay. Now if I write sorted of number, now see, my list was 5, 2, 9, 1, 8. Now it is getting printed as descending order 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. Okay. Now as dot sorted never change the value of the original list. Okay. So let's print the number also. Okay. Now see, if I print the number, then you will find the original list is not gets changed. Original list is remains same. Only sorted function only sorted the value in the ascending order. That's it. But the original list never gets changed. Okay. Next is membership testing. Okay. So if I create a new list that is fruits, okay, and write some value like apple, okay, apple, banana, cherry, okay. Now perform in operation, okay, that is membership testing operation using in. Now let's try to find out banana, okay, banana in fruits, okay. So it should give me the output as true, right? And another is grapes. If I write grapes not in fruits, okay, so that should also give me the value of true, okay. Now let's see, let's execute. Now see, banana in fruits, yes, banana in fruits, that is why it is giving me as true. Grapes not in true, not in fruits, grapes not in fruits, grapes is there in my list, no, so grapes not in fruits, that means it is true, okay. So that is why it is giving true. Now if I write apple not in fruit, okay, that should gives me the result as false, right? Now see, it is giving me as false because apple is in fruits actually, but I mentioned apple not in fruits, so it is giving me the answer as false, okay. So these are we can perform different type of operation in using the inbuilt function in list, okay. Next is iterating items through list. See, in Python, we often want to go through every element in the list to perform some actions like printing each element or, checking a different type of condition. Okay. So for that, we mostly use loops. Okay. So for loops, I will create complete session on loops in my future video. So don't worry. But for the time being, I just give a brief introduction about loops, how it works in list. Okay. Suppose there is a list 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Okay. Now if I want to access this position, then I have to write a of 0. Now for this position, then you have to write a of 1, right? If I want to access this position, then we have to again write a of 3, okay, like and so on. Okay. So we have to write multiple times to get the value whatever is required. Okay. But to get all the value of, from a list at once, we use loops. Okay, we use loops to get all the value from the list at once. Okay, just remember, to get all the value from the list at once, we normally use loops. Okay, so there are different type of loops. Okay, so that I'll be explaining everything in my loop session. But here I just give you one loop, that is for loop. Okay, that is mostly used in list, that is for loop. Okay, so using for loop, what happens if I write a simple for loops, then interpreter comes here and it will give the value as 1, then it will go here and it will give the answer as 2, then it will go here and it will go here and so on. Okay, so automatic, by writing a single for loop, automatic all the values whatever is present in my list, all the value comes out and we will give the output at once. Okay, so this is the facility of loop. Okay, so to iterate all the values at a time from a list, we normally use loop. Okay, we use loop. Okay, now if I consider this list, okay, now let me comment it out, this one. Okay, now if I want to print all the values, all the items of this fruit, then what we can perform, like this, fruit of 0th position, okay, like this, okay, 1, 2. So how many value is there? I have to write the fruit, I have to print all the values one by one. Okay, like this. Right. So if there is 100 of values is there, 100 of items is there in my fruit list, then I have to write 100 of times, right? Like this. Now if I print this one, let me comment out all these things. Okay. Now execute. Now see, apple, banana, cherry, everything is coming up. Okay, all the item is getting printed. Now if there is 100 of items, then I have to write it 100 times. Okay, but instead of that, if I write a simple for loop, okay, like this, for item in fruit and print item. Now see, now let's see what happens. Let me print one separator here. Okay, now see, now here also my apple, banana, cherry is coming, right, in this print section. So we have to manually write all the fruits, all the position of the items. Okay, but I just write a single line of loops. Now let's see. Now see. Now see. Here also the same output is coming. Okay, here also same output is coming using this for loop. So if there is 100 of items, then I have to write it 100 times. But if I use a simple for loop, then I have whatever number of items is there, all the items will come out at once. So we don't have to write all the items one by one manually. Okay, so this is the benefit of loops. So using these loops, this is how we can iterate all the items from a list at one time. Okay, at one go. So I hope you understand how we can iterate all the items value from a list using loops, okay, to perform any kind of operation, right? Okay, so there is another concept, that is nesting list. Nesting list means putting a list within a list. Okay, so in our previous video in conditional statement, we have seen we have created nested if. Nested if was putting a if condition within another if condition, right? So basically putting a structure within another structure of same type of different type is called basically nested. Okay, so in the same way, putting one list or multiple list within a list is called nested list. Okay, so if I create one list, that is matrix. Okay, now matrix is a list. Okay, now within this list we need to add one or more list, that is called nested list. Okay, now if I put another list, that is 1, 2, 3. Okay, now this matrix becomes a nested list. Okay, now in the same way we can define multiple list, 5, 6, 7. Okay, another is 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this matrix is a list, but this is also called a nested list. Okay, so now if we print my list, matrix. Okay, now let's print it. Now see, in my list there is one list, this is the second list, this is the third list. Okay, so my entire list is getting printed. Okay. Now, if we want to access only this list, then what we have to do? We have to just mention our index position, because our list has its own index position, right? So this list is 0th position. This list is the 1st position. So if we mention 1 and execute this one, now see, it is executing the second list of matrix. Second, then it is printing the second list. Okay, within this matrix list. Okay, so these are, we can print any list within the list. Now this is the first index position element of this matrix list. Okay, now if you want to access this element, okay, this item, that is 7, that means 0, 1, 2, second position, second index position of this list within a matrix list. Then how do you call that? Just we have to mention matrix 1, that means this list, and within this list we have to access our second position, that means 7, this one. Okay, now if we execute this, now see, only 7 is getting printed. Okay, now this is how we can access our items within a list of our nested list. Okay, now if we want to execute all the value at once, okay, then we have to write a for loop. Okay, now if I write a for loop for item in matrix, okay, that means matrix, that means this item holds this 3 list, this 3 item of the list. Okay, so this item, for item in matrix is having these 3 elements, so this item holds this 3 list. Okay, now within this list we have to access each element. So within this for loop we have to again write another for loop. That means for num in item. Okay, now we are running another for loop within this item, because in this item all this list is present within this item. So within this item we are running another for loop. Okay, now if I print number, okay, and finally write only print. Now let's execute. Now see, all the number is getting printed in one by one. Okay, now we want to print side by side, then just we have to write end and we have to give a space. That's it. Now if I execute this one, now see, our output is coming as 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so using this for loop we are accessing all the elements in our nested list. Okay, so this is how we can write our nested list and we can access any item within the nested list. Okay, next is tuple. A tuple in Python is an inbuilt data structure that allows you to store multiple items in a single variable. Okay, just like a list, but unlike a list, once a tuple is created, its content cannot be changed. That is immutable. Okay, so what happens when we create list, then we just create one square bracket and put all our value like this, right? Like this, right? So this is basically list. So in the same way, when we write our values, okay, we write our values and we enclose these values using a parenthesis. This is called tuple. Okay, so using square bracket we create list, and using parenthesis we can create tuple. But the difference is this is mutable. Okay, this is mutable and this is immutable. Okay, that means this we can change, modify, add, remove any value of this list, but we cannot change or modify any of the value of this tuple. Okay, so this is the basic difference between list and tuples. Okay, key characteristics of tuples, that is order. Item in a tuple maintain their order, so you can always know where each element is. Okay, just like list, we put our values within this parenthesis. okay, and create our tuple. So it maintain the order in the way, whatever way we have mentioned all our values within these tuples. Okay, so it maintains the order so that we can remember what is the position of our items. Okay, this is immutable. Once created, you cannot modify, add, remove elements from this tuple. So once we create our tuple, then we cannot modify our any items value in this tuple. Okay, this is basically immutable. Okay, we cannot modify any data. Can contain different data types. A tuple can store multiple stored numbers, string, and even other collection. Just like list, we can store integer value, we can store string, we can store float value, right? We can store boolean value. Okay, like this. So just like list, we can store different any kind of data types in our tuples as well. Okay, allow duplicates. So it also we can store duplicate value in our tuple. Okay, in our tuple we can also store duplicate value. Okay, lightweight and efficient. Because tuple are immutable, they use less memory and can be slightly faster than the list in some cases. As we cannot modify any data, so once our tuple is created, then it consumes less memory because it is completely immutable, and that is why sometimes our tuples is quite faster than list. Okay. Now I create a new file, that is tuple.py. Okay. Now I am mentioning one variable, this my tuple 1. Okay, and I'm inserting all the integer. Okay, integer value. Okay. Also, we can include some floating value as well. Okay, floating value as well. No issue. Okay. So this is my first tuple where I have inserted integer and floating value. Now second is I'm using just a string. Okay, I'm only inserting string value. Okay, I'm creating another tuple 3. Here I am including mix of value. Okay, so different type of data type. So first tuple is string, then string, integer, then data type is float, then boolean. Okay, then boolean data type. Okay, so now let's print my print at tuple 1. This should be 3, it should be 2. Okay, now let's print. Now see, this is my first tuple, this is my second tuple, and this is my third tuple. Okay, now you have to check what is the type of this variable. Okay, whether it is tuple or not, just type this would be 3, this would be 2. Now check what is the type of this variable. Okay, now let's print. Now see, all 3 are tuple. Okay, all 3 are plus tuple. That means all my tuple 1, 2, and 3 all are tuples, right? Okay. Now remember, in order to create our tuple, always we use this parenthesis, right? This is the normal coding standard. Okay, so in order to understand our code very clearly, but remember, within this parenthesis as well we can create our tuple. Okay, if we don't mention all this tuple, and try to print the type of this variable, now see, you can get all the class of this 3 variable is tuple. Okay, so without parentheses also we can create our tuples, but normally in coding standard we always mention parentheses when we are creating our tuples. Okay, Just for extra knowledge, I just give you this information, okay, that we can create our tuple without parentheses as well, right? Okay. Now let me comment it out. Now we can also create our empty tuple, okay? Just like list, we can create our empty tuple as well, okay? Just mention the parentheses and that's it. It will create our empty tuple, okay? Now see, these are empty tuple, okay? This is empty tuple, right? Now see, these are empty tuple, okay? These are empty tuple. So we can, these are, we can create our empty tuple as well, okay? Now I give you another very important information. Suppose now this is one of my tuple, okay? Now as to create our tuple, we just need to give this parenthesis, and within this we can give our value, right? Like this. So this is how we can create our tuple, right? So if you check this tuple, type of this tuple variable, then see this is integer, okay? So this is integer. So if we are creating any tuple with a single value and just put our parentheses, then it will not create our tuple, okay? So in order to create a tuple with a single value, we just need to put a comma, okay? We just need to put a comma, and if you run this one, now it is become a tuple, okay? So just remember, whenever you need to put a single value in your tuple, then just put a comma after the value, okay? Don't forget to put the comma, else it will create the string or integer, whatever you mention in your within this parenthesis, that will create that class. That will not create the tuple. Just to create the tuple, just put a comma at the end of the value, okay? Just remember. Now there is another way to create our tuple. Let me show you. Now suppose there is a list, okay? There is a list, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? This is the list. Now in order to create our tuple using this list value, we can do, just we have to write tuple, my tuple, whatever variable you want to give, any my tuple equal to list 1, sorry, my tuple equal to, just you have to pass a function that is tuple. This is inbuilt function, okay? This is a inbuilt function, tuple, okay? This is inbuilt function, and within this you have to pass your list, okay? Now if you print my tuple, and also if you print the type of this my tuple, then you can find, now see, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, initially it was my list, okay? It was my list. Now it become tuple, right? It has been enclosed by a parenthesis, so it become tuples. And if you check our type of this my tuple, then it is tuple, okay? So a tuple is a inbuilt function in Python. So using this tuple, you can change any kind of list into tuple, okay? This is another way to create our tuples, okay? So you always remember, to create a tuple in Python, you put values separated by commas inside a parenthesis, okay? But there is a trick, that is, it's actually the comma that makes the tuple, okay? Not the parenthesis. Just remember, the comma makes the tuple, not parenthesis. That I show you, okay? That's why you must add a trailing comma when you creating a single element tuple. So whenever you create any single element tuple, then you have to put a comma. That is called trailing comma, okay, at the end of the value, okay? I also show you can create tuples without parentheses if you separate items with comma, right? And finally, Python gives a inbuilt function, that is tuple, that is constructor, okay, to convert other iterable like list into tuple, okay? Next is indexing and slicing in tuple. In Python, tuple, just like list and string, okay, are ordered collection, which means you can access element by their position in the tuple. Position means index position, okay, index position. And you can also extract parts of the tuple using slicing, just like list and string, okay. Slicing list, you extract a subsection of a tuple using start and stop, okay. So basically, if we have a tuple, okay. Now these are tuples. Suppose 10, 15, 20, 35. Okay, these are the stuff. This is one of my tuple. Now, if I want to access this position, then this is also index position, just we have learned in list and string. Okay, so this is the index position of 0. This is the index position of 1. This is the index position of 2. This is index position of 3. Right? Okay. So in order to access this position, this 15, okay, this position we have to write tuple 1, and we have to put the index position, that is 1. Then it will give the output as 15. Okay. So if we write tuple 0, then it will give the output as 10. Right. So these is how we can access any item value from a tuple. Okay. Just like list and string. Okay. Next is slicing. Just like list and string, if we suppose this is my tuple, okay, this is one tuple, okay, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? So this is the index position of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now just like we have learned in list and string, in order to access any subsection of this tuple, we need to use slicing. Okay. So in order to create our slicing, just we have to write my tuple. Okay. And within this, we have to mention our start point. If we want to slice from this position to this position, so this is the second position. Then you have to put our first start position is 2. And the end position is 5, but we have to mention 5 plus 1, that is 6, because 6, the last number, end number is excluded. We have already learned in list and string, right? The last end number is excluded. So we have to put first number and the position which want to slice, that number plus 1. That means 2 is to 6. 2 is to 6. Now this will give our output as 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay. So this is how we can fetch any value of the tuple using is index position, and we can extract any subsection from this tuple using slicing. Okay. Now if we create a new tuple, that is fruits. Okay. And we are putting values as apple, banana, cherry. Okay. Now in order to access our any index position, for example 0, we have to write print fruits, and we have to pass our index position, that is 0. Okay. This is the index position of apple. And in the same way, if we pass our index position of 1, then it will print banana, and index position 2, that will print cherry, right? So let's print. Now see, apple, banana and cherry, all is getting printed. Okay. Now in the same way, if we can fetch this value using the negative indexing as well. Okay. This is the positive indexing, so we can print the same thing using negative indexing as well. Okay. So now in order to fetch apple, what is the index position, negative index position of this apple? That is, this is this is -1, -2, and this is -3, right? So this is -3. This would be -2, and this would be -1, right? So let's print. Now see, this is for positive indexing, apple, banana, cherry, and these 3 for negative indexing. Okay, apple, banana, cherry, right? So using negative and positive indexing, we can access our data from a tuple. Okay. Now to make the slicing, okay, let me first comment it out. Now let's create a new tuple, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now in order to slice our tuple, suppose we want to first we want to slice from this position 3 to 8. Okay, this position. That means our index position is 0, 1, 2, 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 position. That means we have to write print number, and we have to put our first position. First position is 3 means index position of 2, right? And the 8 is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, same position. Then we have to put 8 because 8 is 8 would be excluded, right? So 2 is to 8. That will slice our data from 3 to 8, right? So let's print it. Now see, it is coming out from 3 to 8. Okay, 3 to 8. Now in the same way, if we want to print from the very beginning to 7th position, then we can remove the first start position, right? We have already learned this in string and list as well. Okay, and in the same way, if we want to print from 3rd position to end, then we can just delete the end position, right? And if there is another concept, if we just put only colon within this square bracket, then it will fetch all the value from a tuple. Okay, so now let's print. Now see, for first one 2 to 8, that is printing 3 to 8, right? 3 to 8. For the first one, this one colon dot 8, colon means that is it starts from first position, very first position, that is 1, and till the 8. Okay, till the 8. Now for this one, it has been started from 3rd index position, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 means 4. So it has been started from 4 and till the end, that is 9. Okay, that is 9. Fine. And for only colon, it is printing all the value from the tuple. Okay, so these are we can access our slicing. Okay. One more thing that you need to remember, our tuple is immutable, right? Immutable means you cannot change any value from this tuple. Okay, so first of all, let me comment it out. Now suppose this is our tuple. Now if we write number, and suppose we want to access this position, okay, that is 2. Sorry, this position, and write the value of this. Okay, now if we print number, now see, it is showing error because it is immutable. In list we could have done this. Okay, just access the position and mentioning the value, we could have changed the value of the list, but because list is mutable, but in tuple is immutable. So accessing the index position, we cannot change the value of this item in tuple. Okay, just remember. But there is another option that you can create a new tuple based on an existing one. Okay, for example, if this is the existing one, okay, 1 to 9, right? Now you can create another tuple using this tuple, adding a new value. Okay, now I show you how. Suppose this is my first tuple. Now I want to create another tuple, number 2. Okay, here I have to mention, in this tuple I have to mention which this is the existing tuple. Okay, now I want to keep this one. Okay, now I have to put a class operator. Okay, and now whatever value I want to insert in my new tuple, along with this value, along with all these values, that value I have to put over here. Suppose I am to include 10, 11, 12. Okay, that means I want to create this tuple using this existing tuple, and I want to keep my values, all these values, along with these values, along with these values. along with these values. Okay, so these are we can create our new tuple. Now if I print this one, now see my new tuple is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. It was existing one, and now I'm adding 10 11 12. Okay, 10 11 12 is getting added. So we can create a new tuple using an existing tuple and concatenate all the values all together. Okay. Next is tuple method, that is also called function. Okay, inbuilt function. So just like list, tuples is also having some inbuilt function, just like count. Count is method helps to find how many times the value appears in tuple. Okay, so if this is my tuple 1 2 3 4 1, then if we count 1, then it will give the count of 2, because 1 is appearing 2 times. Okay, 1 is appearing 2 times in my tuple. Okay, so these are count function, just like list. In the same way, index is working in tuple as well. Index method searches for a specific value and returns the position, that is index position of its first occurrence. Okay, so if you find if you write index of 1, then this one is coming this first position, so this is the first occurrence of this one, so it will give the index position of this one. Okay, not this one. So this is the index position of this one is 0, so it will give the output as 0. Okay, length of the tuple. So what is the length of this tuple? There is 1 2 3 4 5. So length of this tuple, if I write a equal to this tuple a, length of a is 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 5, right? Mean max. Mean, what is the mean value of this tuple? That is 1. Okay, so mean of a equal to 1, and max of a is, that is 4. Okay, the maximum value is 4. Okay, sum, add the numeric values. If I write sum of a, then it will sum all the value, that is 1 2 3 3 3 6 6 plus 4 10 10 plus 1, that is 11. Okay, sorted version of tuple. So if I write sorted of a, then it will sort my tuple in ascending order. Okay, that means 1 1 2 3 4, like this. Okay, so these are the few inbuilt function in tuple, and it works in the same way it works in list. Okay, now if I create a new tuple 1 10 5 6 10 11 5. Okay, now if I write print number dot count and I pass 10. Okay, so how many times 10 has been appeared in this tuple? That is 1 and 2. Okay, so let's see. Now see, output is 2. That means 10 is coming 2 times in my tuple. Okay, so these are count works. Okay, now if I write number dot index, okay, number dot index, and again I put 10, then what is the index position of this 10? So first occurrence of 10 is this one. Okay, this is the second occurrence, so this is the first occurrence, right? This is the first occurrence. So what is the index value of the position of 10? That is 0 1 1, right? So it gives the output as 1. Now see, it gives the output as 1. Okay, so this is the index position of 10. Okay, this is how index works. Now third one is length. If I write print length of number, then what is the length of the number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so 7 should be output. Now see, 7 is the length of this number tuple. Okay, next is min max. Okay, print mean of number and this is the max of number. Okay, let me comment it out, these first three one. Okay, Now minimum value of this tuple is 1 and maximum value of the tuple is 11, right? So let's see. Now see, minimum value is 1, okay? Minimum value is 1 and the maximum value is 11, right? Okay. Now next is sum, okay? Now let me comment it out. Now if I write print sum of number, then what is the sum of this number is 11, 1 plus 10, 11, 5, 16, 16, 6, 22, 22 plus 10 is 32, 32 plus 11 is 43, 43 plus 5 is 48. So it gives me the output as 48, okay? Now see, the sum of this tuple is 48, okay? Fine. Now next one is sorted, okay? Now if I write print sorted number, then it will sort my tuple from in this ascending order, okay? Now see, it is giving me that tuple as ascending order 1, 5, 5, 6, 10, 10, 11, right? But you must be wondering why this output is in a list form, okay? So just remember, tuples themselves cannot be sorted in place because they are immutable, okay? So whenever you run this sorted function within a tuple, then it always gives output as list with sorted elements, okay? Next is iterating through tuples. In Python, tuples are iterable, which means you can loop over their element just like with a list. So we have seen how we can perform our loop operation in list, right? In the same way, we can perform our loop operation in tuple as well, okay? In order to iterate all the values from a tuple, okay? So iteration lets you process each time one by one, okay? Which is useful for printing values, checking condition, or performing calculation, okay? So for example, if this is my tuple, okay, I have this tuple 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 like this, okay? Now if we run our for loop, okay, in this tuple as well, I'll show you the for loop example because this is the one of the most popularly used loop. So I'll give you the for loop example, okay? So if I add for number in my tuple, okay, then I try to print my number, then what happens? Now once I run the for loop in this tuple, then all the value is getting stored in this number, okay, in this number. Now once I print the number, then it will automatically fetch all the value and give all the items value one by one like this, okay, at once. So we can perform our loop operation in tuple just like list in order to iterate all the values from our tuple at once, okay? Now suppose this is my tuple, okay? Now in order to get all the value from this tuple, so basically in order to iterate all the values from this tuple at once, so we have to run our loop, right? So we are writing for loop for number in, okay, not number, let me write item, okay, in print item, okay? So basically what happened, when I run this for loop within this number tuple, then all this value gets stored in this item, okay? Now I'm printing this item. Now if I execute this one, now see, all the value getting printed at once, okay? 1, 10, 15, 6, 10, even 5, all everything, okay? So now if I want to get all this value one by one, okay, then I can just pass a space over here using this end, okay? Now if I execute this one, now see, the value has been printed one by one in side by side. Okay. Now if I give another example, suppose colored, okay, colors, and I creating this tuple red, green, blue. Okay. Now I'm running this for loop. Okay. For color in colors. Okay. Now I'm printing all the color. Okay. So basically, when I run for loop in this colors tuple, then all this value gets stored in this color. Okay. I'm printing color. Now let me first of all let me comment it out. Okay. Now see. Now red, green, blue, everything is coming. Okay. That means tuple in Python are iterable. Okay. Which means we can loop through each element using loops. And the most common way is for loop. Okay. That we have seen in our example, which goes through the tuple one item at a time. Right. Next is tuple unpacking. Tuple unpacking is when you take a tuple with multiple values, okay, and assign each value to its own variable using a single assignment. Okay. For example, if this is my tuple, okay, now there is a value is like apple, banana, orange. Okay. Now we can assign each value to its own variable. Okay. Now suppose I create one variable that is first and assign the value of this one. So my tuple, and I have to mention my index position, that is 0. Okay. So my tuple 0 is the value of this, my tuple 0 is apple. So apple, this value has been assigned to this variable first. Okay. Now if I write second, my tuple and pass the index position of 1, and third, okay, my tuple and index position of 2. So automatically first variable store the value of apple, second variable store the value of banana, and the third variable store the value of orange. Right. So this is how we can assign our each value to its own variable. Okay. But in tuple unpacking, what we do, instead of doing all these things, we just write first, comma, second, comma, third equal to my tuple. Okay. Just mention this single line. So automatically this first variable will store this first value, second variable will store the second value, third variable will store the third value. Okay. So this is called tuple unpacking. But remember, whenever you write this type of syntax, your number of variables should be same, the number of elements, whatever number of elements in the tuple. Okay. That has to be same. For example, if there is 3 value in my tuple, but if you write first, second, third, comma, fourth, okay, and pass this variable, this tuple, then it will show the error, because you pass 4 variable, but in your tuple only 3 items is there. Okay. So how many items is there in your tuple? That many variable you have to mention in order to create tuple unpacking. Okay. So in Python, you don't have to extract tuples values one by one using indexes. Okay. Using index, you don't have to extract this value one by one. Okay. So you can use tuple unpacking to assign all the values to variable in a single statement. That is this single statement. Okay. Just write variable names just like this. Just write variable names and separated by commas on the left, and in the right side, just you have to put your tuple name. Okay. So automatically Python will match them with each element in the tuple. Okay. Also there is another concept. Suppose, let me erase all these things. Suppose my tuple Okay. In this value, there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 values here. Okay. Now, if I pass first variable, second variable and third variable, okay, and pass my tuple, then normally if I write this statement, single statement, then it will throw error, right? Because here I have mentioned 3 variable, but in my tuple there is 6 element, right? So it will show error. So to overcome this, what we can do, if I write a star marks over here in second, then what happen? Then in first variable, this first element will store. In third variable, the last one, the last value will be stored, and in second asterisk means all the remaining value that is within this first and last variable, that will store all the values. So second will store the value of 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So these are we can also mention our statement, and it will not show any kind of error. Okay. So if I consider this tuple, okay, now normally what we can do, we can write like this: first equal to colors of index position is 0, right? In the same way, we can write second index position is 1, and this is third. Okay. Okay. Now if I print first, if I print second and print third, then let's execute. Now see, red, green, blue is getting printed. Okay. So this, using the index point, we can access our tuples item value one by one, and we can assign all this value in a different variable, right? But instead of doing this, what we can do, we can create one single statement for tuple unpacking. Okay. So instead of doing this, we just create first one single line statement. Okay. First, second, third, and put my tuple's name, right? Now if I again print this one, now it will give the same output. Okay. So basically it unpacks our tuples and assign all the corresponding value to all my variable one by one. Okay. So this is the single line statement for unpacking my tuples. Okay. Now in the same way, if I create one tuple 10, 20, okay. Now x comma y, okay, these two variable I'm creating and assigning my tuple. Okay. Now automatically if I print just like x value is equal to this x, okay, this x, and this is y. Okay. Now if I print this one, so see, x value is 10, y value is 20, because when I mention x comma y, that means they are two variable, and I pass the tuple name, then automatically this 10 and 20, this value got assigned to x and y accordingly. Okay. Now this is the x value, that is 10, and this is the y value, that is 20. Okay. Now if I write a third value over here, now my tuple is having 3 value, right? But I have mentioned 2 variable. Okay. Now if I execute this one, now it will throw the error. Okay. It will throw the error. Okay. The value error. Too many values to unpack, because there are 3 value, but I have given only two variable depth. That is why it is showing too many value to unpack. Okay, it is showing value error, right? So again, if I write another variable over here, z, and then execute the value, now it will execute successfully. Now see, x is 10, y 20, z is 30. Okay, so just remember how many items is there in my tuple, that many variable I have to mention in order to unpack my tuple. Okay, now suppose in my tuple there are many more items. Okay, immutables, there are many more. There is 6 items. Okay, now I have mentioned 3 variables and passed my tuple, then definitely it will throw the error. But if I mention just a asterisk mark in y, okay, now what will happen? Now in x, the first element of the first element will store in the x. In z, the last element will be stored, and in this y, all the remaining data will be stored. Okay, now let's pin this one. Now see, x value is 10, right? The first one. Z value is 60. Okay, that means last one. And y value is remaining all this 20 to 50, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, all this value gets stored in y. Okay, so this is basically useful when you don't know the exact number of elements is present in your tuple. Okay, so if you in that case, if you use this unpacking process, then tuple unpacking becomes more flexible. Okay, so this is how we can use our tuple unpacking, and we can assign all the items value, tuples item value in its corresponding variable in a single statement. Okay, guys, so that's it for today's lesson on list and tuples in Python. You now know how to create, access, and manipulate list, as well as how tuples work and why they are useful in immutable sequence, right? So if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notification so you don't miss the next Python tutorial. Drop a comment if you have any question. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing, and I will see you in the next video.